Math Module 4, Lesson 7, measuring angles today. Alright, let's go to big screen here, full screen. Excellent. Alright, guys and girls, today we're talking protractors, parts of protractors, and we're going to measure some angles using protractors. Get that out of the way. So let's take a look at some protractors. The one I gave you earlier was a large protractor. It's a giant protractor. We can see that the right here, the hole that we use for the vertex of the angle, right? The vertex of the angle again is the point where two rays meet and they form that angle. That is the vertex, where the point where it meets. And we usually we can make that vertex by putting a point and then putting that right there and making the angle. Today I'm going to use a smaller protractor because our math worksheets are always smaller. Okay, so we're going to use a smaller protractor, and I'm going to show you the parts of that one real quick. So we'll take the big one out of the way, and we'll move the small one over. Let's see if I got a good one here. This one looks nice. Okay, one of the first things I do when I get a protractor is I make sure that I'm looking at the 90 written the correct way. Right now, I can see that everything's written backwards, so I've got to flip it over so that 90 looks like a real number with a 908070. Cool. All right, so it looks like real numbers now. And take a peek at this protractor. This one has a little different setup because the origin or the vertex of our angle, the vertex actually doesn't have a hole in it now. Now it's right here on the bottom edge of this protractor, not like this one. This one would have to be placed like that on top. This one has the vertex right at the bottom, right here. Now this is our 0 line going out to here in that direction, 0, and this is our 0 angle out to here. If we put this one together with this one, we have 180 degrees, a straight angle. Okay. Now, what they want us to do today is to construct angles that measure the given number of degrees. In this case, our first question in our math book is 30 degrees. They want us to construct a 30-degree angle. Okay, so construct the measure of the given number of degrees. For A through D, use the ray shown as the ray, one of the rays of the angle with its endpoint as the vertex of the angle. So the endpoint of the ray, remember this is endpoint of a ray is where it ends, it stops. It doesn't go any farther than this direction, it goes in this direction. So here's our endpoint, and they want that to be the vertex. Okay. Draw an arc to indicate the angle that was measured. So this will be the arc that we draw in, and then we'll write the angle. We know it's going to be a 30. We could, for the first one, we could write 30 if we want to, 30 degrees. Okay, but we don't have to because it's already telling us to make 30. So the first step with a small protractor is to move it up so that it's lined up exactly. Let's turn this light off so it's not a shadow. A little bit better there. So it's exactly along this ray right here. Okay, now we have choices for 30. 30 is way off the paper over here. That's what we want to remember is these angles, these 30s are, if it's going to be a 90-degree angle, there's 90. A 30 has to be smaller. Can't make it to the 90, so it has to be something smaller than 90. 65 over here will also be an angle that's smaller than 90 because these are acute angles. Down here, these two, we have larger angles to draw. But for these, remember acute, we need to make it a sharp angle. Acute angles are usually a little sharper, pretty sharp. 90 is a right angle, and just a little less than 90 is an acute angle, so at 89. So I'm looking over here. I want to draw 30, so I look at the 30 line, and I follow it out. And of course, it lines up with the 150 line. Although they're on the same line, this doesn't mean it's 150 degrees here. That means it's going to be 30 degrees. Okay. So now I've got this point, I've got my bottom, I've got my vertex. All I need to do is take the protractor away and connect these two together. Alright, and connect those. Now I need to put an arrowhead on the end. I need to put an arc in here, and if I wanted to, I could put 30 degrees right there. Nice. The next one's 65. Now the arrowhead is at this end, so the end point is over here. Okay, so we're going to have to change this a little bit. We're going to put the center of our protractor right there on the vertex. Now we have to look for 65. If I go to this 65 between 60 and 70, that's going to be a very obtuse angle. Now 65 isn't obtuse, so I have to think to myself, that can't be the 65 I want. I've got to go over here and pick this 65 between 65 and 70 right here and make a dot. Now I've got a dot here. I've got my end point of my ray. All I have to do is connect the two dots together with a straight line and put an arrowhead on the end and put the arc in, and if I wanted to I could write 65 degrees right here. Well, let's move on to the next. The next ones are they're obtuse. Okay, so this is more than 90 degrees. So I know my end point of my ray is here, and that's going to be the vertex of my angle. The angle is going to either go this way. That's acute, though. I don't think it's going to be acute. It must be going out this way because it's going to be obtuse. All right, so I'm going to put this on here, and I'm looking for 115 degrees. 115. Well, if I did this 115, it would be a really sharp angle. So I know it can't be this 115. Remember, I've got to go past 90, and I've got to grow my angle to 115. So 115 would, or that's 150, I'm sorry. 115 would be somewhere around here, between 110 and 20. But that's still that's an acute angle. I want a big angle. It's got to go past the 90. There's 90, past it to 115. It's right between 110 and 120. Right there. Make a little mark up there, and then pull your protractor away and connect these two with a line. An arrowhead, an arc, and 115 degrees. 115. Move on to the next one. 135. There's the end point of my vertex. Okay. Got it lined up on the along, so the ray is going out of the, it's aiming outside of this, so I'm starting with the end point right there. Now I have to find 135 degrees. So it's got to be obtuse. So if I looked at 135 here would only be a little sharp angle. So I'm thinking that to be 55 degrees. I don't want 55. I want I don't want 45 degrees. 135 right there. I've got to go all the way around to, am I looking for 135? Yeah, 135 to make it obtuse. So 135 exists over here, and I've got to put a dot right between the 130 and 140, right there. And then I can connect those two dots. Let's go right through that. Let's go right through that angle right there. Cool. Now I can tell when I walk around, if you've got these drawn, I'm going to certainly see this line right here is going to go pretty close to that. This line over here is going to go behind this one at just about the halfway point. and I could see about a 30 degree and a 65. On the next page, you're all on your own. So what they want you to do is draw an angle, 5-degree angle, and you're kind of on your own to draw this. So start with a ray. Just draw a ray so you have your own to start with. You can make it pretty long. Go like that. Draw an arrowhead. Put a dot right there on your ray. Then take your protractor. Have the ray exit out of the protractor so it's flying out of the center. It could be like the sun in the center of the universe. So inside the protractor you can kind of think the center of the sun and the rays fly out from the sun. That's one way to think about it. And we're going to make a 5-degree angle. It's just really small. Holy cow. Whoops, I got my protractor upside down. My numbers don't look like numbers. There we go. Now I'm going to make a 5-degree angle. Oh my. There's 0. There's 10. This thing is sharp. Right there is 5 degrees. Halfway between 10 and 0. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's the 10 line. This thing is really, really sharp. And draw this one in just like that. Put an arrowhead on it. Put an arc on it. Ooh, can I put 5 degrees in there? It's tiny, but I can. Now, next door is a huge angle. This is very obtuse. This is obtuse. Obtuse. It's almost 100. Look at this. It's almost 180. It's almost a straight line. So this thing's going to be really straight. So I'm going to put mine right about here. I'm going to draw a ray going out this way. Put the origin or the vertex of the angle right there. Now this thing is going to be a giant angle. So it's got to go over to 175, which is way over here. Holy cow, 175. There's 170. There's 180. It's almost a straight angle. But there's 170, 171, 2, 3, 4, and 5 right there. This thing's almost flat. And then I'm going to connect those two dots. And put an arrowhead on there. Draw my arc. And that is 175 degrees. Cool. Now if I put the 5 degrees and I stuck it on the other side of the 175 over there, I would have had a straight line. That 5 degrees, if I stuck it right there, would make 180. 5 degrees plus 175 makes 180. It would have been a straight line. So those two pieces could go together. Alright, 27 degrees. Alright, so this is a really sharp one. Okay, this is not, it's going to be sharp. This one's 117, so it's going to be obtuse, right? So I'm kind of thinking I should have angles that look like this and this. Down here at 48, I should have 48. It's kind of like, should look about like this. It's an angle that's definitely acute. And 132 is past 90, so it should be obtuse. So it's going to be angles that are opened up. So think about those before you draw them. 27 is sharp. 117 is pretty wide open. It's obtuse. 48 is pretty sharp. It's under 90. Remember, 90 degrees goes right here. 90 degrees is right here. So it's below the number 90. This one's above the number 90. So it's going past 90. And this one is past 90. So when we draw those, remember which way you're going to be. You're going to be past 90 or shallow and not to 90. Alright, so you can do those on your own. If you want to watch me do them, I'll do those for you right now. If not, do those, work on them your own, and raise your hand when you're done. Okay, for you people sticking with me and watching, I'm going to draw a ray, put an arrowhead on it, and put the vertex right there. Then I'm going to put my protractor back on my ray, shooting out from the center of the sun like a ray of light, and then I'm going to measure up to 27. So there's 10. I might get this upside down again. Oh, how did I flip that? Okay, sorry about that. So I've got 10, 20, and I'm going to 27. So 10, 20, there's 30, so there's 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. I'm going to put a little mark at 27, and then shoot this one out from here. That's 27. 117. Make my ray. Put my vertex in there. Line up my protractor. I'm doing 117. I'm going to go past 90. There's 90. There's 110. Oops, 100, 110, 115, 16, 17's right there. And draw my lines right like that. There's 117. Oops, not much of an arc. .48 is going to be less than 90, so I draw a ray. Put my dot here, the vertex, and then go to 48 degrees, which is 10, 20, 30, 40. 45 is right there. 46, 47, 48. 48. It's between 40 and 50, so there's 45 right in the middle right there. Draw my angle. Okay, put my arc right 48 degrees. This one's big, 132. Draw my ray. Okay. Put my protractor on it and go for 132. There's 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 131, 132 is right there. And draw that angle. .132. There you go.